Welcome back, Panther fans. I'm David Brown here with Ryan Graham,
Hey, y'all.
Tim Thurber,
Hello.
and this is State of Atlanta.
Ooh, I
Welcome
got
back,
extra.
guys.
That was a you got a little extra there.
Yeah, well, it's a it is a Guinness evening.
Okay.
Ah.
The little nitro hiss after the pop.
That's right. Yeah, and I got to pour a glass too.
Don't spill it all over your desk for like the 8th week in a row.
Come on, man. Not these. I don't ever spill these.
Don't spill the 4% alcohol. We'd hate to miss out on that.
Well, these are lower alcohol content than PBRs.
That's why I said 4% alcohol. I was making
Not
fun of
lower
you.
than PBR.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, I didn't know. I don't know, man. I don't know what the fuck I'm
Whoa.
drinking. Oh, oops. Sorry.
What have you been drinking?
1 minute in.
That's my. I just poured my 7th Guinness.
Nice. Well, I am doing very, very low on beer. I only have 3 cans of beer today, so I brought 2 vodka drinks to the table.
You've come prepared.
Nice.
Yeah, I don't have to have the wife bring me one. Maybe I'll just message her to bring me one later on. See if that works. So anyhow,
good luck.
Yeah,
Godspeed, sir.
I think there was one week that we were talking about. Maybe it was last call, and we were talking about favorite cocktails, and I said White Russian. So Tim messaged my wife, "Hey, bring David a White Russian right now," and it was expletive no was the response I think that he got. So
She did bring you your vodka you left upstairs. Was that like last week or the week before?
last week, yeah,
Last
last
week,
week.
yeah.
That was last week. I forgot it, and it was pre-made. She didn't have to go through the hassle of popping open a Sprite Zero can. So much easier on her.
It's hard. That's difficult.
Thank you, babe, for bringing me my drink. So let's get into it. So we had a couple of basketball games last week.
What?
You were at both of them, weren't you?
I was.
Yeah.
I was. I was there. Well, so the first one I'll admit I didn't watch very much of. The second one I can probably talk to a little better.
Well, the first one we lost, so there's really not much to say about it, right?
I just blanked that kind of crap out of my mind. So
The first one was attack of missing wide open shots, wide open threes.
well, that's the story of our life, right? So,
The soundtrack of the 2022 season, 21-22 season.
I did rewatch some of that game, and literally every open shot we missed, every contested or partially contested shot we made.
we just need them to challenge us a little bit. Can't make it too easy.
That's Lanier's strategy. Make the teams think that they miss it when it's open, and so they always challenge everything. And then when we get to the tournament, we'll just go lights out on the uncontested shots and
Lights out.
blow their minds. Lights out until we light it blue.
You people are ridiculous. We're just not that good of a team.
Yeah, we're not that very good of a team. So, but Tim, what do you think about a Troy loss?
I mean, I hate saying they have our number, but they do. Well, they're not supposed to have our number at home, but apparently they want it in both arenas, and they want to beat us, and they did. I thought rewatching the game, it was very back and forth, hard fought. I mean, Troy got up quite a bit, at the first half, and we fought back. It's a wide open shot, like literally close in and far out, just missing.
Well,
everything.
You said what I wanted you to say, because I did look it up today, and you and I have both talked about it. It seems like Troy just has our number. Over the past few years, that's not necessarily been the case. Last year, we won both. Year before that, we lost both. And then we split them in 2019, split them in 2018. So we've been pretty much 50-50 over the past 4 or 5 years.
Man, you know what? I came out and said that Troy has our number, and you went and did research. David never does research. He was just like, you know what? Ryan, I'm going to get him. That's what he did.
Exactly.
They have our number at home. I mean, I think you meant they have our number at their place, and they do. We don't win there that often.
That's not the way it's been, though. We won both of them last year. We lost both of them the year before that. We split them the following 2 years.
How did
the
we
year
split
before?
Home and home. Oh, that's what I was saying. They have our number at their place.
Yeah. So what you would have said is 2 out of 3 years they beat us at their house.
I guess. Well, I do know that I did add this one. I had 27. I stopped at 27. I always wonder whenever you see stats, like, they've won, like, the last 8 out of 8 games. And they're like, yeah, but before that, they had lost 24 of them or something.
Yeah,
But
all those like records and stuff are all so carefully crafted. Like, if in this very specific condition, this is a record, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, at some point, we got to stop caring.
Well, so I do have one caveat. I looked back, and 2017 is where I didn't say anything. That's because we did lose both games to them that season, but then we beat them in the conference tournament. So I feel like that one win in the conference tournament outweighs the 2 losses in the regular season. Though, if we're arguing about them having our number in the regular season, that argument's kind of moot.
It's fine. Whatever, man. You're drunk.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
I haven't had 4% alcohol beer. I'll tell you that much. All right. Matthew says, what was Troy's record compared to ours at that time? I don't know. I didn't look that up, Matthew.
We are not the stats podcast.
That'd be a very cool thing for me to do on my lunch break today, but I did not do that part of it.
Yeah. Unfortunately, ESPN didn't give us access to their database. So, we don't have it.
And the Sunbelt website is horrible. Like they do not have all the game. Not I should say our games. They don't have the entire schedule listed. The basketball schedule for this season.
Not
games that have happened, games that will happen. Because I went to go look at try to figure out what our situation was looking at the playoffs as far as seeding goes, and they did not have all the Sunbelt conference games listed for the rest of the season. And I've seen this previously this season. They don't have it listed. They don't even have our. How hard is that to have our game? Y'all made the schedule. Y'all made that crappy ass schedule. It was so crappy. The guy just got bored putting games in and said, "Nah, I'm not putting that one in." Sorry. Rant.
I was gonna say, so Matt also, what was their record compared to ours? I think that has a lot to do with us saying that they have our numbers, because regardless of their record during that time period and our record during that time period, they seem to still have an edge over us. It doesn't matter how good they are or how good we are or how bad they are. They just seem to win. It's weird.
Yeah, that's Matthew's next point here. Is the shocking part about losing to Troy is how bad Troy usually is compared to Georgia State when we lose those games. Yeah. That maybe is why we feel like they have our number.
Well, and you see that kind of stuff in like rivalries, but like I still don't actually know where Troy is. Like I know it's sort of like in Alabama somewhere, but
getting warmer.
If you pick one of the starburst interstates that leaves Atlanta and just goes elsewhere, you have a 20% chance of going through Troy.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. The point of that joke all along has been that we don't give Troy very much thought, right? I mean, like, who cares about Troy? Nobody gives Troy thought. Like that. I mean, they don't do much for us. And maybe they have their own rivals and whatever, but like for us, like I just don't care. I don't really care about that game.
I do feel like Troy is one of those. If we were in a conference that we love to be in, and you guys know how I feel about this conference, I feel like Troy is it's that built-in rivalry. It's the closest university to us. It's not in the same state, but it's the closest. That should be a game that we go to every year. We expect large crowds from them every single year. It's supposed to be a rivalry. By the definition, it should be a rivalry game. We feel like they have our number. They're very, very close. We like it when we beat them. Is what the definition of a recipe for a rivalry looks like.
I know it's super weird that I don't care. I just don't care about them. Nothing.
And now with the conference expansion, they will now be the closest university to us that we don't play.
That's probably
on a regular basis.
It feels like it's a lot like Georgia Auburn, right? As far as like how close it is, but it's still just like that's the what is that, the oldest rivalry in the South or something?
The most played rivalry or something.
Yeah.
I just don't feel it.
I just don't feel it for Troy.
You don't feel a Georgia Auburn. I don't want to get into a big Georgia Auburn thing, but you don't feel like, because all of my Georgia friends, I guess maybe back in the late 90s, early 2000s, that was one of the you get up early for that game. But
no, that's not what I was saying. I'm saying the Georgia State Troy is just not something I give a lot of thought to. Like I want to win those games because as much as I want to win any other game, but I just don't give it much thought.
Well, you won't have to worry about them within the next year or two, because we'll see them once every 4 to 8 years. Yeah. So
and it won't impact my life in anything, whatsoever at all.
Whatsoever
say,
at all.
in the wise words of David.
So then we move on. We move on from Troy, and we beat USA in what should have been our comeback game, right?
But wait, we could have beaten Troy.
But we could have beaten Troy. Remind me of this, Tim.
Yeah, well, I mean, if we shot free throws well, like we did in the next game, we would have actually beaten Troy pretty easily. We didn't do that. In the second game, I mean, we couldn't miss from the charity stripe. Must have been because Ryan was there.
The charity stripe. I like
you
the
like
lingo.
that one?
You like it?
I do.
Well,
I don't know it, man, but I understand instantly what you meant. I just would never have said it myself because I don't know this stuff. I'm ignorant.
Because he doesn't listen to anybody talk about basketball ever.
Hoops ball.
No, but we were up. What was it? We were up 23 points at one point in the second half, and then we were up.
Yeah.
I distinctly remember you telling everyone we were going to lose, David.
Oh, I felt it. I felt it. The between my heart and those Pilsners on Ponce that I was drinking, or was it Pilsner on? Not Pilsner on Ponce.
On Ponce.
One night on Ponce, from 3 Taverns, not sponsored. If between my heart and those night on Ponces, I definitely felt like we were going to lose that game, and I wasn't even believing it until we hit 0-0. So
I mean, so that's the problem, right? Is that we went into that game and we dominated them for what, like 3/4 of that game, and then they came back so strong, and it was just like, what is this team that we can? Because I started feeling really good about the team, actually, like weirdly, right? I mean, I haven't felt good about this team all season, and then to have them come back from that far behind and from being dominated that much for that much of the game, it just took it out of me. I was like, this team just really isn't that good.
You were so close to coming on here and saying, you know what, guys, we may have a good team here.
I think
we may be
gelling. I was going to do that.
You did say it, yeah. At the game.
We may be knocking the rust off.
But then they just went and proved me wrong. They were like, you know what, Ryan? Never mind. You just get those thoughts out of your mind. You just get them dirty thoughts out of your mind. We are not good.
Do you think the players were taking a Ben Moore stand and were just playing poorly because we weren't down in our seats and instead we were up top drinking?
No.
Absolutely. Yes.
No.
100% and then some.
All right, I just want to say this is awesome. This is the way conversation is supposed to go. When I ask a question, one of you is supposed to be adamantly in favor of it, and the other should be adamantly against it. When we agree on the same thing or disagree on the same thing, it makes for a lot less entertaining stuff.
It's only because you coached us up before this. That's why.
That's right.
Let's go, team. 9 out of 10, you screw this show up, but not this show, not tonight.
We definitely cooled off the second half, and they weren't. South Alabama wasn't playing phenomenal. They just scored and we couldn't score. We just went on a drought. We won the game because of free throws. Oddly, the last game we should have won, but we didn't because of free throws. This game we won because of free throws. If we had shot down in the 50s or the low 60s like we did against Troy, we'd be 0-2 for this weekend. So, the teams. I still think the team's coming along. I like what I'm seeing. I think the defense is getting tighter. You like tight defense, right, Ryan? You liked it last week.
I like tight D. I don't even know what that means. That doesn't even mean anything. Tight D? Like what is that? It's like backwards. That's like frontsies and backsies all at once.
Playing some tight D. But yeah, no, we're definitely playing even better on defense. Like you can see it game by game by game. Going down to the swamps, coming out of there with 2 wins.
But
even in the loss with Troy, it still looked like a more solid defensive team. We do cheat at times, and when we do cheat on our defense, we get bit every single time. But that just is experience with the group kind of having a chemistry together, and they're still working on it. So they got 4 more weeks.
I love the defense. I love what we're seeing. I love the steals, but we still have this problem of getting that ball and missing that easy layup, that easy short jumper in the paint, missing like the obvious throw. And it's so frustrating because like for me watching basketball, I didn't grow up watching a lot or paying attention to basketball quite a bit. So I get excited when I see a very aggressive defense making steals. That's awesome. That's because I'm just used to, in my mind, it's one team goes down, scores 2 points, other team goes down, scores 2 points, and just that back and forth, 2s and 3s back and forth. So when you see a steal, that's huge. That's a big point. That's almost like negative points for them. So I get excited, and then it just comes, my heart gets ripped right out of me. Drive after drive after drive when we just missed what appears to be a shot that I could make. And I'm not saying I could make the shot. I could not. But it looks like a shot that I could make.
Yeah, I think I was telling Ryan, we just got to start dunking the ball. Forget trying to shoot. Just dunk.
They've done that.
Wasn't Sosme having wasn't even my guy Sosme having a problem with that? Like going up,
he was
that dunk or that just right in the basket kind of drop in and bouncing off the backboard.
I think Sosme's leg is obviously still bothering him because one, he's a little slow getting up and down the court, but like two, when he goes for that little jumper and it should be a dunk, like you can tell that he's making a choice not to land on that leg.
You chop off one of his legs and strap a crutch to him. I guarantee you he's still the best player on our team.
Absolutely, but there's a reason he's not dunking the ball right now. I mean, that's all there is to it.
Maybe a pogo stick. Maybe instead of a crutch on one side, a pogo stick.
What?
I think he gets too anxious, maybe a little bit overexcited when he gets the ball back close to the basket, and that's why he misses. He's not calm and cool and collected. In that one moment, like he gets these weird rebounds off the ground and he freaks and he misses from 1 foot, right?
Yeah.
I mean, he'll get it, or he just needs to start dunking it since you're literally 1 foot away from the basket. Just dunk it. Slam the freaking ball back.
You just reach up.
Can you grab the rim with one hand and like palm the other end?
I don't think so.
No.
Yeah, that sounds like something that would be against the rules in stupid basketball.
You can only hold the rim for a certain amount of time, I think, before you're like hanging on it or something.
Now we did learn on Thursday you can't punch people. If you punch them, you get ejected from the game.
But we also learned
I thought that was just a rule for the cheerleaders. I didn't realize that was a rule for the players.
We also learned that if you are a player on a team that the refs want to win, you can scream in their faces and not get a tee. You can just yell at them like willy-nilly. You can just be like, you know what, I disagree with you, and just scream at them, and it's fine.
I mean, if I were a ref and a player did that, team up.
I mean,
forget it.
Of course, every other time I've ever seen it, I was there's a T there, but that time, nope. That guy got to yell right in his face.
Ryan Harrow gets the tease doing that.
Oh,
right?
He'd say like a cuss word under his breath, and he'd get teed up. I mean, he'd also say some fun shit, but that's neither here nor there.
I was watching a John Boy clip before this, and he had a thing of some baseball team where one of the players got into a fisticuffs fight with the umpire, and none of the other players got involved. The guys on this team they didn't care. They're like, let this ump knock this dude out. It took the other team to get involved. It was hilarious. But yeah, exciting game. Don't mess with people from Mobile. Mobile's they'll mess you up, I guess, is the takeaway from that.
Mobile.
Well, we are
all right.
Well, after this weekend, we are a top 10 team
in the Sun Belt.
Top 10 in the Sun Belt, coming in at 10th place.
Yikes!
Who's behind us? Who do we got?
Monroe and Little Rock, which actually Little Rock's a little surprising, but
that's weird.
They're protesting that they're leaving.
We're gonna show. Was it Missouri Valley what they're getting, or Ohio Valley? Which one did they go to? I don't know. It doesn't matter. We will have not seen them again, and
they're between mountains.
Yeah, actually, we'll never see them again, right? Because even if the only way we'd see them in the tournament is if one of us was like surprisingly good.
I mean, we could add a conference.
Why would you? Why go to Little Rock?
I guess why
it's
would
not
you?
An easy place to go to.
Whoa! I'm not saying we'd go to them. Get out of here, man! You crazy?
I was just thinking we would send our soccer to like Central Arkansas for some reason, but whatever. Soccer is weird.
Soccer's like one of the things you do what you got to do. I mean, we played with soccer was South Carolina was in our soccer conference, right?
They may be coming into our soccer conference.
I think there was one or two SEC teams or ACC teams that were part of our conference.
Well, the SEC is part of Conference USA, and now with all the most of the soccer schools leaving Conference USA, I think the talk is that we would maybe get USC and somebody else into. I don't know.
I'm not going to look it up now, and I'm going to forget to look it up by the time next week rolls around. So I guess we'll never know.
Oh, I expected you actually to forget what you were talking about during the middle of saying that. Like I already stopped caring about this.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right.
So who do we have this week, David?
No, that was last week. The Carolina schools from the great state of Carolina.
South Carolina?
And the other one. Wait,
North Carolina?
Are they both in North Carolina? I don't know.
We're playing North Carolina?
No, it's Coastal's in South Carolina, right? That's from Myrtle Beach.
Coastal is in South Carolina, yeah.
Conway, South Carolina.
Conway is in North South Carolina.
It's close.
Wait, you said Conway, and then you said Conway. So what's the other school?
I don't know.
Coastal and
Boone.
Appalachian State.
Dang, man. Appy's in Boone, North Carolina. We got all the Carolinas.
So we're at Coastal on Thursday, and then we're at Appy, who is surprisingly first place in the conference and doing very well.
2 destinations, though, right? I mean, you get the beach and the mountains.
Maybe some snow?
I mean, now's the time to go to Boone, right?
I've often wanted to go to a basketball game up in Appy State just because of all the breweries that are right around there in Asheville. Just make a weekend of it. That'd be awesome.
Do a snow trip, skiing trip.
And I've done skiing on Boone. It's not that impressive, although I'm not really a skier, so it's probably
I was
petrified anything else.
I was kind of irritated because I don't want to plan very much. I wanted to do like an all-inclusive resort type thing, like a ski resort, and apparently the East Coast just like we don't do that. That's like Rocky Mountain stuff. They've got those, but we don't have them here.
I bet you could find you some really sketchy all-inclusive Airbnbs on Boone Mountain or Sugar Mountain, whatever.
Oh yeah.
I don't have anything down about these teams other than Appy's number 1 and Coastal is scratching ahead of us at 8th, and I think we lost to both of them already this season. So a little retribution.
2-0 road trip. There you go. It's happening. Coastal as the appetizer, App as the redemption.
Oh, that'd be great. I would love to see that. But I'll be at a wedding on Saturday. I don't even know if I can watch the game.
It's hard to have any confidence, though. I mean, based on what we've seen out of this team so far, it's like, if we win, it'll be great. But I'm not expecting a whole lot, which just sucks.
Well, if you've got reasons to cheer for anything, I did go through and build out. It is possible for us to make it a first round bye in the playoffs. Like you got to be a top 4 team in the conference.
Yeah,
and it's statistically possible. Obviously we have got to win out. And then
we need some help, right? We need some people.
We have got to root for the trash down south more than anybody would ever want to, because
no, thank you. I'll take a game. I'll take a game.
Well, no, we'll play them. We have them after this week, and so obviously we win both of those, which means they're currently ahead of us by 1. We win both of those, we become ahead of them. We stay ahead of them when we win out, and they keep on knocking down people as they play. So I hate it. I don't like it. But if we want to get a week off or a day off for the conference tournament, we've got to root for them. And then you got to kind of root for like Appy and Troy to win out and Archie and Texas State to lose out.
I love how David was earlier in the episode talking about how he's not like a stats analyst and like he's not going to talk about records, but he's like, you know what? I took all the records in the Sun Belt and I did this like massive analysis and I figured out exactly what needed to happen, who we needed to root for, who needed to lose to get us a first round bye, top 4.
I see what you're doing and I don't like it.
It's a schedule. He likes schedules.
Yeah, but it's funny. It's funny whether you like it or not.
I don't like player stuff. I have a hard time following player stats.
Yeah.
That's why I have a hard time following recruiting. That's why I have a hard time rooting for any kind of sport where you're following an individual like boxing or racing or golf or tennis.
I know.
I have a hard time with that kind of stuff.
But
when it comes to
can I stop you for a second?
No, you can't, because it's my show and I can mute you if I want to.
Well, it's our show. But
who
I just want to stop you for just a second because earlier the question was, but what was Troy's record compared to ours in that time period? It had nothing to do with players. It had to do with schedules.
I don't remember what I had for dinner last night. I don't know, some team from Alabama's schedule or record 3-4 years ago.
It's all good, man. I think it's funny because clearly you care about this stuff. It's just the things that you care about, are very specific.
Well, exactly. I only care about the things that make sense to me and that I like.
Yeah, I just love it because I know you had like spreadsheets and shit up and like
I do. I have an entire thing. Color coded.
Exactly.
Formulas telling me ranking each team. Yeah. Yep.
Cracks me up.
Yeah, so I like that kind of stuff.
I know I do too, man. I just like making fun of you because you said you didn't.
Did you go straight just win-loss, or you do probability that teams win and lose to figure out this seeding?
Some machine learning, input all the variables and let the AI figure it out. That'd be cool.
No, because I play a lot on the NFL, ESPN, or the NFL, ESPN's NFL playoff machine, and they have the options where you can say like a higher seeded team or best winning record team or home team or whatever, and there was no way that there's gonna be any kind of like calculation that was going to come out that would get us other than Appy, Troy winning out, Arky, Texas State losing out, Georgia State winning and getting help from the trash down south. So that's all it came down to. I plugged it in, I did the numbers, that works. So I don't know if any other kind of formula where you look at home team or current standing or win-loss record or history would play out that, but I didn't go with that into depth, the whole thing. So I thought about it. So I mentioned earlier, this is kind of a Ben Moore kind of thing. He's really harping on these pack event at the games. How they go up into so they technically go to the end of the half, but
they never stop.
But you can, they stop serving at the end of the half.
But you can get a couple before they do that. They'll give you more than one.
They don't kick you out at all until the game's over. And even then, maybe they kick you out. I don't know. I never try to stick around for that.
And staff will hang out with you.
True.
So, what do you guys think? What's a better? I like that type of event. I like that we have a way to get in there and socialize and have some drinks and watch the game from up top. You get a great view of it from there. But what's a better solution than what they're doing now? You guys have any suggestions?
I mean, like I can look around in that flat and count the people, and then look at the empty seats down below, and I can tell that we wouldn't make a big dent in the way that it looks. I mean, there's either games where people show up or games where people don't show up, and people just aren't showing up to these games. And I mean, God honest truth, like if that weren't the situation, I might not have gone to all these games that I've gone to, because I've had a blast up there hanging out in that kind of environment, watching the game and socializing and having some beers and having some food, and like that. To me, that is more fun than sitting in a chair. And
that's what brings you to the game. Period. That's
free beer. I mean, that's exciting. Free beer.
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't have to be. Man, if they charge me for the beer, I'd pay.
I'd pay for it if I want another one. I didn't have a ticket.
Yeah.
What do you think, Tim? Now that you're drinking a beer, I can ask you a question.
I'm okay with it overall. I know all the people up there fairly sit on the other side, which is in the camera view. So I think Georgia State Athletics has solved this problem for the Convocation Center. We're going to be on the camera side, so it points the other way.
Yeah, and we don't know what kind of events they'll have there. I'm kind of with you, Ryan. I feel like even if you took every single person that was up there in the pack event and you put them down in their seats for the entirety of the game, I think we still look empty seated in there. I would rather just allow general admission to come in and sit in my seats or something.
Yep.
Or maybe it's going to be worse next year.
It'll be very interesting to see what they do next year with reseating and where people are going to be. And I don't know.
It might be a little convoluted, but it would be really cool if you could walk into that pack event and be like, I'm never going to my seat. And they could just give those seats to somebody from up above or something, just go in there and be like, hey, you want to move?
Yeah. Like actually make pack event a a general admission ticket and give away your ticket to somebody else that wants to go sit.
And honestly, I might buy if there was a season ticket that was like go stand in the pack event and not have a seat. I might buy that and not have a reserved seat to myself. I mean, you know what? I would commit to that right now. I'd buy a season ticket if it was just come to the pack event and not have a reserved seat.
No, they don't have pack events for every game.
Well, but
Right.
they'd have to commit to that too.
A multi-pack. You could do your multi-pack where you get...
That's right, yeah. If there's a pack event, then I have a ticket or something. Yeah, exactly.
So taking the same topic over to football, John Weaver's got a question. Do y'all think moving the 300s down to lower level in football would make the crowd better?
I would be so mad.
Absolutely, but I would never want to do it.
No, it wouldn't, because the TV camera is pointed at those the new seats out there where we have the opposing fans. So
I'm just saying, make the crowd louder. Like we're separated from the other half downstairs. You know, like it'd be better if we were next to them.
I mean, like, regardless, I would be. I mean, I'd go to the football games, but man, I would be mad at the program if they like wouldn't let me have my 300 level seats. I like my 300 level seats.
Yeah, I like being up there. I like having a great view. I like that I'm just under a covering in case it rains. You know, yes, it would probably make for a better experience for those out there, but also those first few weeks, those September games, be hot as balls up. Yeah.
AC, man.
And then when you also figure in, you've got, hundreds or thousands of people all sitting around you, even hotter and more crowded. And
hundreds of thousands of people. Is that what you just
said? Hundreds of millions of thousands.
Hundreds or thousands. Not
hundreds of thousands of people. But then also just all the people.
Well, think about it from think about the fan perspective of sitting there. You're sitting in a section lower level, burning up in the heat, right next to the field, and you look up and you see 40,000 seats that are unused around you. You're like, man, it sure be nice to sit there, but they won't let me. So that kind of sucks.
Yeah, I mean, so that's the other thing, is it would be like all these seats up there would be empty, and that would look empty as well. I think the lower bowl doesn't look all that bad in general anyway. I mean, I know we don't have the attendance that we want, but like from the 300 level, if I look over, I'm like, I'm usually pretty impressed by the number of people who are on that level. The problem, as David has often pointed out, is that the camera is not on those people. The camera is pointed the other direction.
For now, until we do phase 15, then we'll get...
I don't think there's a plan, man. I don't think there's a plan for that.
There is, but
not for that.
Not going to happen for now.
I think that's pretty standard to have the camera where it is. So,
well, typically you have your camera pointing to where you can see the home field team in the top part of the screen.
That might be true. Yeah. Okay. Never mind. I might be wrong.
Because you want to keep
probably wrong.
Because you want to keep your team on TV as much as possible. So, but obviously, we would have to basically have a crane set up to get the camera angle in that direction. And
fine, that can't be that expensive.
Yeah, until a wind comes and blows a crane over in the middle of a game, and like that's the new GSU thing that's all over the news. Taking it back to, go ahead, Tim.
No, I saw some comments from John and Matt about they're undercover in the 200s. Let me pose this question to the two of you. What if they converted some of those 200 under the, I guess the club level to like club somehow? Would you want to sit there, or is it like, no, I still want my 300?
Yeah, but you can't really get to the 100 without walking down the 200. So how do you create 200 into a club area? I mean, unless you put in some kind of a blocked off 200 club spot for people. I don't know.
Yeah, you have to do something like that.
Oh, Ryan, you know what they could do is they could make all those concessions and vendors right up there at the top of 200 level be for the 200 people only. That anybody 100 has to walk all the way back to the main entrance.
Oh God! I mean, we're like opening up worse problems than we already have.
No, I'm referring to the Troy game we watched. Yeah. All right, let's take it back to basketball for a second, because Matthew's got a question that we'll assume they'll do a seat selection day like they did for the stadium in 2017. Yeah, yes, I think so.
They will.
They're gonna. I think that they're going to not only do that, but also try to get all season ticket holders that have not been showing up to games to find another way for them to support the program other than buying seats and not showing up. At least that's my my understanding.
They should have them buy upper level tickets in the corners. That's where they should buy.
Yeah, they should.
Yeah.
Up there where they can just like hang from the cement rafters right above.
Oh my God, guys.
You just go from one thing to the other.
We don't even know what it's going to look like.
No. I want to get onto one little bit thing about football before we take off the last call. There was a ESPN ranking that was just ranking the percentage of returning team players overall, and then offense on defense. And I want to bring it up because I was shocked. Georgia State was 26 for returning their roster from last year.
What were we last year though?
I don't know. Go ask John.
No, I mean we were we were ranked really highly for this last year as well.
But like everyone was really high. I guess not everyone can be ranked really high, but everybody had high percentages last year because all those super seniors that were coming back.
I was going to say, do we get extra points for having a 7th year senior coming back? I mean, does that actually just give us like bonus points?
A grown ass man. Does he stay
grown ass man? That's exactly right. A grown ass man. I almost did the other part too.
Does he stay on the same floor in the hotel as like the coaches, or does he actually on the floors with actual players?
Some of them, so
yeah, because Dan Ellington's his position coach, and they're the same age, or they will become first game or something.
Yeah,
but I thought it was pretty cool. And looking at it, Georgia State is right up there in the new Sun Belt East, would be number 2 with returning players, both on offense and defense. That's just awesome. It gives me a lot of hope. And then also Lafayette and Coastal are last place overall.
Just be careful because, again, we were ranked really high. Everyone was talking about how awesome it was that we were bringing back like some crazy percentage of our starters and blah, blah, blah. And then we started really poorly until we replaced those starters with people who weren't starting.
Yeah, if we still had our starters from week 1, we would be even higher in the rankings.
Oh no, I mean we had like, so it was Quad and
Destin.
Destin Coates, and well, those are the 2 big ones that I would care about mostly. So returning, never mind. I was gonna say Strahan and
yeah.
Still, I mean, it's like the people who ended up making an impact were not necessarily the ones who were coming back. Right. So, I mean, and then you had new wide receivers for a lot of the year because like our starting wide receivers who came back and who were counted in that were hurt or other various things. So like Pinckney was hurt for half the season, right? More than half the season.
So, yeah, several games. Missed that first. I think he was part of the early COVID protocol people too.
And McCoy was out for a while, right? And so it was Creedle and Thrash, right?
Who definitely did their job.
Oh, they stepped up for sure, but they weren't included in that number, you know?
Yep. What say you, Tim?
I guess we don't need the super seniors.
Didn't really pan out the way we thought. There was another thing
all day, man. Jesus Christ. It's great.
Oh, yeah. He was great.
Yeah.
Bring the pain.
Still feel bad for the QB.
Oh yeah, your boy McKelly.
I feel bad for him too.
Who are you talking about? What are you saying, Tim?
Quad.
Yeah.
I think we're all
disappointed. We had like super high hopes for him this year.
I had very high expectations for Quad and Justin for that matter. I don't know what happened to the offseason, but maybe the expectations were too high. No idea.
Maybe.
Something was weird.
One other thing that I took away from this ranking of the classes, not really ranking, but I guess looking at the percentages, was that North Carolina is number 75 over. We're 26. North Carolina is 75. Army are 86. Those 2 teams that beat the snot out of us. So a lot of those players who beat us up will not be here next year.
That's good. That feels good.
That's good news.
That's better, right? You like that? Okay.
Yeah.
I found something we could talk about, or you could agree on at least.
Wait, so earlier in the episode, you were like, I love it when you guys don't agree on stuff. Oh, but it's only as long as when we don't agree with each other. If we need to agree with you.
Correct.
Yes. Yeah.
This is episode 129, Ryan, and you're finally figuring me out.
No, I figured it out. I just don't give a shit.
This is good. Matthew says Quad was getting back at Coach for not taking him fishing.
In South Carolina.
In South Carolina.
On his boat.
Man, I made the joke this time. I don't ever make that joke.
Yeah, you always go, oh, whenever that happens.
I'm on Coach's side. I'm like, man, live where you want. I don't care. But
as long as you're getting the job done.
exactly. But that's it.
Can we all do that right now?
Like
Live where you want and work remotely.
That's apparently that is the post-COVID world, or the
Minus
I don't think
football
it works
coach.
for coaching.
We're still not post-COVID yet. We're still like we're current in COVID.
I've got like what is it? What there was like a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles bad guy that was like a screen, right? That was maybe I might be making stuff up.
I was gonna.
Krang?
What? No, but he wasn't though. He was like a bodysuit, wasn't he? It was like a suit.
The little brain inside of the bodysuit.
He was more like MODOK or something.
I actually I watched the original 2 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle movies over the weekend. So it's weird that you brought this up. I watched
that is really weird.
Yeah. It's not just Facebook and Instagram listening to you. Ryan is listening to you.
So wait, is the second one the one with Casey Jones?
Casey Jones in the first one. What are you talking about? No, second one's with Vanilla Ice. You know, go ninja, go.
Oh yeah, that's right. Wow.
Heck yeah, that's a good one.
And Bebop and Rocksteady show up in the
Heck
second
yeah,
one.
man. Those are good. I might need to rewatch those.
Secret of the Ooze.
Those were classics.
Yeah.
Classics.
Yeah. All right, we're 40 minutes. There's 2 more things I want to talk. I want to talk about the Georgia State night at the Braves and Jesse Minter moving on to Michigan. Do you guys want to do that here or do last call?
I have nothing to say. I mean, you're going to tell me about things that I didn't know about. So
okay,
let's save them for last call.
Last call. Perfect. Yeah. Perfect. All right. Thanks everybody for listening. Thanks for the people that are watching and making comments as well. We're going to do last call. Drink some more. Talk about more Georgia State. A little bit more uncensored. Not that Ryan started it off that way at all this week, but
yeah.
Yeah, so you can find it on our Patreon page. It's free, patreon.com/State of Atlanta. Free on Fridays, immediate to our Patreon members. Please consider joining. $3 a month. You get early access to the last call, as well as access to our private group chat, discounts on our merch, and whatever else we can try to bribe you with. So thanks everybody for listening. Say goodbye, guys.
Goodbye, guys.
Peace.